Gari sasa mama, unajisumbua kuita madaktari hapa. Si mimi anabimaga na gilo goba hivi.
Hali yake nakwambia mambo yake inataka kuisha. Anataka kufanya nini? Kutuwacha.
Ukikubali tutafanya hii ya kutoa ile migi ya kudonate hapo sasa tutaweka kwa fegi na hiyo ndio itasaidia watu wengine kama ni wako wagonjwa.
Kwa benki?
Kwa benki.
Central Bank ama National Bank. Wanahitaji wanitoe damu karai mbili. Wapeleke kwa benki iko chini ya bahari.
Mimi nataka tu unipime mimba. Halafu kama tafadhali unaweza kuniongezea nguvu za kiume, unaweza kunisaidia sana.
Kwa ingine hapa, mimi nakwambia hata si 24, hii inakufa in the next 30 minutes.
So baby, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, but I'm leaving you. You never should have made me cry. I'm sorry, but I'm leaving you. I checked it in rehab, and baby, your body's easy. Your body's easy, yeah. It's like I checked it in rehab. Can somebody help me, please?
There's nothing I can say or ever do to deserve the love of a woman like you.
You're my favorite boy. You bring such joy to my world. I'm your favorite girl.
I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back.
At KBC Channel 1, we put people at the heart of events with our captivating weekly news features. Every day, we are breaking new grounds with informative, entertaining, and inspiring human interest stories. On Mondays, 9 p.m., we have The Cabinets. Tuesday, 9 p.m., we get inside the barracks for military tales. We delve in the world of cinemas and theater each Wednesday night. For the young and industrious, make a date with us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Fridays are dedicated for my culture. On Saturdays, we go back in time for history in perspective. And on Sundays, we get to know the process of how things are done and made. KBC Channel 1 News features a whole lot of wonderful viewing experience.
And a good morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. Would like to apologize for that slight technical hitch, but everything now is in order. Well, it is the 15th day of May 2023. We are going to be keeping up with parliamentary committee meetings that are happening within parliament buildings and also talks on Kenya-Somalia relations. But one item that we are keeping tabs on and will be starting shortly, and this is at the Deputy President residence in Karen, that There is a joint press conference between Deputy President, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, and the Vice President of the Republic of Colombia, Madam Francia Marquez Mina. So we are waiting that. We shall be having that live broadcast. And on Sports Check today, the conversation that we shall be having, first, it's about Makueni County, overall winners of the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Games that took place last month in Tharaka Nithi County. So we've got a whole team from Makueni to do that. And via Zoom, we shall be talking to some of the athletes who made their presence felt at the weekend's Kip Keino Classic that was at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. So conversations with Emmanuel Wanyoni, Julius Yego, and Wiseman Were via Zoom in the second hour of our conversation. Remember to get in touch. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. The hashtag is Sports Check KBC. Our sign language interpreter and Wangeshi. So let's get straight to our first conversation, and it is about Makueni counties and their performance at the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association. These were sports for athletes who are aged between 18 and 23 years. That's the age limit for that. And remember, there were over 24 counties that took part. Makueni County taking first position in women's football, winners in men's basketball, and getting wins over Busia County, and also wins in the volleyball, which is a major sport, coming up from that area. And to start us going, on my immediate left, I've got the County Executive Committee member for Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services, Nicholas Mzioka Waziri. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
And on my far left, I've got the Senior Youth Development Officer, Charles Muthoka.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And also we shall be having some of the people who are, behind the sport, and we shall be starting with volleyball. We've got Shadrach Mbidi from KVF Makueni and Shadrach Buteti, who is a scouted player within Makueni County, and they are on the bench. So they shall be speaking to us shortly. So straight, Waziri, let's start with this first of all. Tharaka Nithi, you've had, there is a whole sporting festival in Tharaka Nithi. Makueni comes out on top. Yes. Taking a look at this, the whole feeling for the Makueni people.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Yos. Thank you, Daniel. Makueni is the home of champions. No doubt.
Iten will claim that too.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. But now, it is not easy to maintain where you are. Mm-hmm. We will be there where you think Iten is. But Makueni, based on the last performance in the recently concluded Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association, we are the team to watch. I can tell you in all aspects.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for you, Muthoka, as the Youth Development Officer, it provides a new opportunity, a new challenge for you. What are those that have come up from the Kisa Games that were in Tharaka Nithi?
Thank you very much, Daniel. One of the major opportunity that came with this accolade is that now we have a group of talented young men and women where we pride ourselves as a county of pure talents, because we select and scout these talents based on age. And for the last 8 editions, we've been one of the cleanest counties in terms of selecting talents based on their age. And that is one of the major challenges facing sports industry in this country. And the other challenge is now that we have a very large number of talented young people within the county, now the burden on the shoulders of His Excellency the Governor and the department in charge of sports is now linking these talented young men and women to elite clubs, and also to start getting money out of the value of their talents. That is what is on the desk of the Waziri in charge of sports, on how to take these young people to the next level, and that is monetizing their talents.
Now, Waziri, I know that is on your desk. I know today your interest will grow because you're here. But the direction that you want to take, with Monet, to see that these people are linked with clubs. We know that there is a lot of focus on Nairobi, maybe Mombasa. But what's the pathway now?
See, it starts with the leadership. His Excellency the Governor, Honorable Mutula Kilonzo Jr., is a sportsman. He loves sports. I can tell you, just before the Chisa Games, I had a discussion with him. He wants to take Makueni to another level. In his manifesto, he has a dream that before he exits office, we must have Makueni team at the National League. He has provided the necessary institutional framework that will take Makueni to that level. One, already there exists a bus within Makueni County for sports. If we have those young men and women that needs to be taken outside Makueni, the infrastructure is there. We have the bus, we have the driver, we'll take them wherever they feel like.
Yes.
It has been used by clubs to, who are playing in the Division 2, to go to places like Meru, other parts of the country.
Yes.
That bus is available. We are going to bring in scouts. And now, with the development that happened in Tharaka-Nithi, we are going to start the scouting at early age. Right from the world level, by the time we get to the county finals, we already have a very solid team for Makueni.
Now, the other thing is how you work, towards infrastructure and having a stadium that can be used for, say, football and athletics, and also arenas for, say, volleyball, basketball, handball, and other sports.
The infrastructure, so far I can tell, is a challenge. But after the games, we sat and we agreed on a number of deliverables. There are those we are going to do in the short term. There are those in the long term, medium term, and the long term. For example, there is that Makueni Water Stadium.
Yes.
That has always been the talk of everybody. I had a talk with the Sports Kenya Director General, Meto.
Yes.
And he told us it is not complete because of politics. We expect that contract will now be given to somebody who will complete the works. That, coupled with the governor's intent to have an indoor arena just next to it, is going to open Makueni to a wide variety of sporting activities. And that will take us to where we wish to be. Okay. Because we are going to introduce new sporting activities where we are going to tap more talent into the sport.
Now, Kenya's sporting progress is heavily tied to the school system. So, Bwana Mudoka, maybe you could tell us how you are working with the schools around there, such that they can now fully optimize the opportunities that come with sports.
Thank you. Within the government of Makueni County, we work closely with the Kenya Primary School Sports Association and the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association. And up to now, we have several schools that have a specialty in nurturing talents. To mention a few, we have a school known by the name Boni Boys.
Yes.
That is doing very well in handball. It will be representing the country alongside Hillside or in Rwanda in August. We have a school known as Kambi Mawe in Makueni that is also doing very good in volleyball. And we work closely with these schools to be able to identify the talents at a very tender age. And also we are also conceptualizing and also initiating what we call the multidisciplinary talent centers.
Yes.
And these talent centers will be taught to the primary schools and secondary schools and others based in the community, with a target of reaching out to the young talents between the ages of 10 all the way to 18 years, so that we can start identifying, nurturing these talents at a very tender age with a very close collaboration with the associations in charge of primary schools and secondary schools. So far we have some success stories and several schools within the county that are doing excellent in terms of nurturing the young talents. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mudoka. And also, remember that in studio we have got people who are in coaching and also the players. And we have got from KVF Makueni, Shadrach Mbithi. And Mbithi, I would like to engage you now. And we have heard, about Kambi Mawe, which is supposed to be coming into something. Maybe you could just tell us about, the development of volleyball, and also knowing that a neighboring county, Machakos, has got the African champions, Kwantanze, and how you're trying to, draw from each other's experiences to develop the sport there, Shadrach.
Okay. Good morning and thank you so much. I'm Shadrach Bidi from KVF Makueni. I think Makueni is doing wonderful. As Federation, we are working closely with the Makueni County and the Department of Sports and the county as a whole. For us to achieve our goals, we have partnered with several schools like Kambi Mawe, where we have a center for the girls. We have Matiliku boys, and we have also Mboni boys. Before the revolution, it was difficult for us to run events, volleyball events, but now I think we are doing good with Makueni. As you all know, before we had Kambi Mawe, we had Kwandanze Secondary School. But now we have started several centers, like that one I've said of Kambi Mawe. We have also Born Boys and we have Matiliku. Through the county, we have several programs which we are running. Over the vacation, we are having centers where we welcome high-level trained coaches who assist our local coaches in training these young athletes. We've also partnered with the county government in doing capacity building. We don't have enough trained coaches. We also don't have enough trained referees. But in partnership with the county government of Makueni, we have done 2 times successfully capacity building programs. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mbidi. And next to Mbidi is Shadrach Muteti, who is a scouted player. And Muteti, as a player, you have been scouted. It has been mentioned here by CCM Nzioka and also by Charles Mudoka. Just tell us about the development program that you have gone through and eventually to represent Makueni County at the KISA Games.
First of all, thank you. Kitu ya kwanza
unaweza endelea kwa Kiswahili, ni lugha ya taifa.
Government imetusaidia sana hizo game za Chisa. Juu kasi ingeenda hizo game za Chisa, mimi sijui ningeonekana wapi. Kitu kingine ni government ya Makueni imetuletea scouts. Wanatuchukua, wanatuangalia, wanatupeleka kwa timu kubwa. So nashukuru government for scouting program. Thank you.
Haya. Na tuambie tu Muteti, ili kwenda kucheza Chisa, hebu tuelezee michezo ilikuwaje na ni mambo yapi ambayo uliona kulingana na wapinzani ambao mlikuwa nao kule Tharaka-Nithi?
Game ilikuwa sawa. Sindo tuliachilia game, but tulikuwa tu win. Wapinzani wetu walikuwa wabaya vile, but tulingangana na wao. Tulipigwa quarters na Kakamega. Tulienda 3-1. Though tuliachilia set, but kitu tunaweza sema ilitupiga ni experience. Alafu pressure, si wenyewe ndo tulipiga na makosa yetu. Napata msana anaenda na serve 2 net. Mistakes kama hizo ndo zilitupiga.
Thank you very much. Shadrach Mbithi and Shadrach Muteti, they are from the volleyball side of Makueni County and part of the overall champions of the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association. We shall be moving on and we shall be speaking with the basketball team. We've got Frederick Makundi, who's the coach, and Tracy Nduko is going to be coming in. And Bwana Mudoka, just before I release you so that we can also bring in, the Chief Officer, Sports and Social Services, looking at what the coach is saying, providing support and also, even development at lower ages. How do we actually, what are some of the lessons learned through this program?
One of the major lessons that we've learned and we've continued to improve as a county is on the technical skills of our local coaches and also the players. And we link them with the professional scouts who train the elite clubs, where they get first-hand training on how a world-class athlete should behave and how so they should position themselves to be scouted at the higher levels. I will not forget to mention that part of the exit strategy is also empowering the youth to have an income-generating activity. And it is to help the young players and the youth at large to get economic opportunities in doing small business with the government through access to government procurement opportunities. Those that have ideas to generate income, we also run a program called Ujuzi Teketeke in the government that helps the youth to be able to do a business, earn an income, and also support their sporting activities. And also we also attach them in the government through internship and what we call apprenticeship program, where they also get time to earn small amount of money which can facilitate them to participate in leagues and also participate in games. So as we do the sporting aspect of it, we also endeavor as a government to empower these youth economically so that they are also self-sustaining and also they can get a livelihood out of it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Charles Mudhoka is a Senior Youth Development Officer, the County Government of Makueni. And let me come back to you, Waziri Nicholas Nzioka. He's the County Executive Committee member for Sports and Social Services. And we have been told about Ujuzi Teketeke.
Yes.
Just give us that whole concept and expand it in full as we also get ready to, be joined by Catherine Siombwa, who is the Chief Officer, Sports and Social Services.
Ujuzi Teketeke is a program that we attach our youth to established businesses where they can acquire skills. At the end of maybe 6 months, 4 months, when they exit the training, we accord them tools of work so that they can establish themselves. That's all about Ujuzi Teketeke. Somebody acquires some skills, we empower them through the tools so that they can then, we give them money to do business at 0 interest rate with a small maintenance fee of 3%, which is manageable. Yeah.
And what are some of the success stories that you can tell from the County Empowerment Fund?
Well, the fund has been there for some time, but because it was subject to abuse, it was halted. Now we are engineering that fund. We'll see the loopholes so that we have more uptake. And this money, we roll out, in fact, we are rolling out the program in a couple of 1 or 2 months so that we can empower more people. And then any loopholes that were used to siphon the money can be sealed so that the fund is not abused.
Oh, right.
It's meant to empower the women, the youth, and the PWDs and the men. Yes.
Well, that is Nicholas Nzioka. He's the CEC in Makueni County for a whole huge docket. He's got gender, children, youth, sports and social services. And sports and social services, we've got the Chief Officer from Makueni County, Catherine Siombwa. Catherine, welcome.
Thank you so much.
And when you come to talk about the effect of devolution, first of all, with sports having been made one of the devolved functions with the policy up here and implementation down there, maybe you could just tell us how you're going through, especially with at ward level, getting the sports officers to work and make sure that the outreach is there.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to say that games in Makueni County has actually taken a very good toll, and we started at the ward level. So at the ward level, we have sports officers who are actually there, and we work hand in hand with the ward administrators who are also there. We also have our youth development officers who are also there. So at the ward level, we have coaches and different teams which are based at the ward level. So devolution has been a very key thing that I can say happened at the county level, because we're able to choose our teams from the wards and the sub-counties. So with the devolution, I can say that before we got our teams that represented us at the national level, we were able to actually screen and get the best from the grassroots. So devolution is a very good thing that has enabled us to get the best that represent Makueni at the national level.
That screening process, because also Mdoka mentioned it about, having a correct age group. We have in this country at times people say that there is football age and there is real age.
Yes.
So how are you able to make sure that you get the right age group for all of these athletes?
I want to say that in Makueni County, we ensure that we follow the right criteria that is required for Chisa Games. And one thing that I would want to mention is that the players in Makueni County, they just don't come for money, because you don't give money for these games to be played. But they have the so-called, they are self-driven. And because of the self-drive, they follow the criteria that have been set by Chisa. And one of the criteria is actually the age group. That is from 18 to 23 years. These players, they have national IDs that we use to ensure that we get the right age. Again, we also get people or players who've been in their residence for more than 3 months. Anybody who has been there for less than 3 months, they don't engage in that. So because of that, we ensure that we get the right people. But again, apart from that, because of the self-drive, they come there because they want to know, they want to get involved in these sports. And again, they know the benefits that will come with the sporting, with the sport in Makueni County. So by the time we get at national level, we have the right people for these games at the national level.
Now, I'd like to mention about collaboration for infrastructure. For you to have, the primary infrastructure we have for sports, especially for some of the games that require specialized spaces, is schools. How schools responding to these calls? Because if you think of basketball courts, you'd have to go to a school.
Yes.
If you are looking for probably a swimming pool, you'd have to go to a school.
Yes. They're very positive, that's what I can say, because you realize that most of the games that you're conducting, and especially at the ward and sub-county level, we are doing these games at the schools which are there. The schools have been able to offer us their grounds to play on. This means we have a very good relationship. We have a very good rapport with our schools out there, and we ensure that for our players to actually play, we have communicated. There's usually a communication prior to the games starting, at the school level. So the good communication, the good collaboration, and a good rapport that we have with the schools has enabled us to have the grounds fit, for these players to take, to play at the school level. One thing I can say is that once we have our players in the schools, it is a chance to even expose those students who are in the schools, because when they see the 18 to 23 years playing their ground, they also want to be associated. So because of how the tactics that they're applying in playing, the same tactics, these students in these schools, they can as well borrow. So because of that, you even realize that most of our coaches that we're using here, they're also school teachers. So that is a good collaboration, and because of that, we don't struggle to actually get our the playing ground, because the schools are ready to help us. They are ready to give us a place where our youth can actually do sporting in.
I also need to add that
yes,
in some of the schools, some of the infrastructure has been done by the county, so it will be only fair for them to allow our youth to use the facilities.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that good rapport with the schools and the administration.
And this is where I'd like to come in, because for a very long time, the old local authority setup had charge of most of the what you would call a stadium village down at the ward level and all of that. What is going around to going on at the moment to see how they can be upgraded?
Well, some of the infrastructure, like the pitches, we have agreed we are going to do them. We can use county machinery to level the playing fields. Some of the, like basketball courts, we are planning to have quite a number in the various sub-counties. Same volleyball court so that we can have these players from the different sub counties practice there. Yeah, and we are not just going to centralize them, but we want to diversify the infrastructure so that players from different sub counties within Makueni County can access the infrastructure, play there. That makes our work easier when we are assembling the teams.
And I would like now to come up with, looking at the sports that are there, volleyball, football, basketball, something else, and that everyone would be talking about in the country is athletics.
Yes.
What's the plan for that?
We started with the Kenya Youth Intercounty Sports Association. Now we are headed to athletics. I can tell you, we had a marathon that was conducted in Makueni 2 months ago.
The tree planting marathon.
Lukenya University.
Lukenya.
The person who won the 42 kilometer was a Makuenian. That tells you he beat all these guys from Iten that you are talking about.
Very true.
Yes. It tells you the direction we want to take. Let me tell you, it starts from the top. We have a marathon that is coming in Makueni that the governor has hinted, sponsored by one of the corporate organizations within the country. I can tell you that is going to be an eye-opener again, and the Makueni is going to shock everybody. The trick is this: one, the leadership is correct. The process, we will get the right people. And I can tell you, with the marathon and other athletic events taking place in Makueni, we are going to have people scouted and competing at the national level. That's when you will start seeing the names like Muteti, Mulwa, Mutuku in marathon.
Yeah, because we also know we have Ndeti.
Yes.
And I think the first Kenyan, incidentally, the first Kenyan to win a major marathon is called Nzao.
Don't forget there's a lady called Yavi.
Yes. No, that one is in Bahrain.
but she the name should tell you.
She's from Makueni.
Yes.
Well, actually, Winfred Yavi was at the Kip Kenu Classic over the weekend. So you can see that there's a lot of talent that is there. And one of the teams that performed very well was the basketball team. And we've got a basketball coach with us. His name is Frederick Makundi. And also, we've got Tracy Nduku. Frederick Makundi, just give us an outlook of how you've seen basketball develop in Makueni County and also in the process of selecting the team that went to Tharaka-Nithi for the Easter Games.
Thank you very much. What we do in Makueni is very unique. For example, we start basketball all the way from the sub-boards regions. We play against sub-boards. We get a team, we call an all-star team. And when you get an all-star team for the ward, we play against the other wards. From there, we go to the sub-county levels, where each ward in every sub-county presents a team. From there, we select a team from the sub-county games, which we will present each sub-county in the county finals. That's from there we select a team that will represent the county from each and every sub-county represented with a regional balance of at least 4-3-1 to make a player of 12 players per team. And where we are coming from in basketball in Makueni is very far. For example, back in 2018 when we went for the Nandi Chisa Games, we never won any match. In fact, we lost every game. And it was a wake-up call for us. With our able Secretary General for KBF, Dr. Kisoi, Mr. Kisoi, we have another advantage. It was a wake-up call for us, whereby we came back. He showed us to introduce a league for the county, which has helped us so much, whereby we know each and every player well when we play the county league. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Makundi. And Tracy, just tell us about your experience in the Tharaka-Nithi as you are playing in the KISA Games and also the growth of the sport, amongst your peers.
Okay, thank you. The experience back in the Tharaka-Nithi County, it was really challenging, but we managed to emerge the winners and also to emerge the top scorer. It was really competitive, but we managed to become number 2. The development in basketball, I can say we do participate in the Ligi Mashinani, and also we have any tournament that that comes up, we do participate. And also there is the SECAB that gives a challenge from there. We compete from other teams. That makes us to be strong and improve our skills.
And Tracy, maybe you just take us through the competition in Chuka, Tharaka Nithi County, at the KISA games that were there.
The first match, we were playing on round robin. We buy with Tharaka Nithi. We managed to get 36 and 50 schools. And also we played with the Siaya, where they beat us with 2 baskets. That was 46-42.
Yes, continue. And Coach Frederick, from what you saw in the county games, maybe you could basically tell us the direction that basketball is going to take going forward.
Basketball is getting a good course. There's a lot of improvement, majorly for the last 2 years in Makueni and almost in the national level. From what we used to see in 3 years, 4 years ago, and what we are seeing now in the Chisa games, there is total and great improvement in our players, and even in the coaching skills and the refereeing skills. Is a great improvement.
Okay, and I'll tell you, for Makueni, you've got an advantage, or what I would call a Mwakenya. Your director of sports is directly involved at the National Federation in basketball. How are you feeding off the federation when it comes to skills transfer and when it comes to basketball?
We have an added advantage with the director of sports, who also doubles as the secretary general for KBF in the whole country. It's another advantage because he has organized several clinics, coaching clinics, refereeing clinics, which has brought a great improvement in the basketball in Makueni County.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now Tracy, as I come to you, maybe what would be the call that you'd make to those who'd like to get into the sport basketball in Makueni County and the opportunities that you see through sport?
Okay, the opportunities are many. We managed to meet various teams that are competitive. And also, I can say the experience was good, and it makes me personally get connections with other people. And being scouted, it is a much added advantage that you can get yourself, like I can get myself either in participating in the Kenya Basketball League ladies. I can say it's an added advantage.
All right. Thank you very much, Frederick Makundi, who's a basketball coach in Makueni County, and Tracy Nduku, who was at the KISA games at Chuka, Tharaka Nithi. They finished second overall. The men's team was there, and they were the overall winners, 51-44 winners over Busia County. Now, and also remember that Makueni also did win women's football, and we'll be talking to a coach, Nicholas Mukula, who's from FKF Makueni, and also we've got Irene Mweni, who was one of the players who represented Makueni County. And let me come to you, Catherine, as we come to, so that as you tell us about this, there's a whole array of, getting the youth involved in sport and, reaching out to them so that they're convinced and they can make the best out of it. How what are the conversations that you're getting from the youth?
I want to say that this Department of Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services, it is a very huge department. And as you've heard from the title, it is a department that has 3 directorates. And I've talked about Gender, Children, Social Services, that is one. Then we have Youth as another directorate, and then we have Sports. So these 3 directorates work hand in hand. And I would want to mention about Youth and Sports. we have a whole directorate for youth. It happens that the youth development officers that we have on ground, they're the same officers that are used for sports. So you can imagine the two directorates, they're actually one thing at a go. So getting the youths out there from the grassroots, enabling them to come and participate in sports hasn't been a challenge to us, because we have other programs in the department that tackle the youth, including, you know, our department offers internship. Our department offers youth empowerment projects. So during these projects that we offer, we are able to interact with the youth, and we're able to actually talk to them and bring them to speed, let them understand that we also have sports in the county that will be upcoming. So before we get to the final dates for the sports at national level, we have prepared fully, because we've been able to talk to them initially, we've been able to ensure that they know what is upcoming and they participate from the grassroots. These youths, we also engage them in so many other activities, and we are also looking forward to even engaging them even more and more. Why? Because we have just started. What do I mean by that? Because this is a new government that are just coming, and this being our first time to perform in sports, as a department, we have very much that we have, we have a lot that is actually waiting for the youth. And through the engagement that we are going to have with the youth, through the projects that we are going to have for the youth, we are going to tap more and more talents. One of the things that we are going to have actually is to ensure that we tap the talents even from as early as 9 years. You understand, Chiza is only between 18 years to 23 years.
Yes.
But again, now we have an upcoming project that we want to actually start, ensuring that we start engaging our youths from as young age from 9 to even 17 years, so that you're able to even know the talent as early as possible. So we don't have a problem reaching to our youths, but again, we look forward to actually engaging them more and more. What about even after 23 years? We are looking forward to even having another platform whereby we can engage our youths who actually graduate from the CHISA, which is 23 years. So after 23 years, what next? We also have a project that is upcoming for the youth, so that we engage them even more and more. Why is it important to us as Makueni County? It is very important because this is telling the youth, it is showing them that this is not the end. We have a beginning from 9 years to 17 years. We screen them. We're able to know who can be able to join the CHISA Games. After the CHISA Games, which is up to 23 years, then we have another plan that we can engage them further, because these are people who are supposed to be in colleges. They're supposed to have graduated, but here they are. Probably they don't have something to do for earning a living. So that is where we are coming in as a department to tell them, you know what, after the games, there is a future. So we're going to engage them in other activities that is going to make them self-reliance, and because of that, you're going to have a good trend of having our youths being engaged in sports.
Yes, Waziri.
Let me comment something on this. You know, I'm appealing to the youth of Makueni, particularly, because that is our mother county. You can only devote me to Makueni. Youth should take sport as a form of employment. Out of the games that were played in Tharaka Nithi, you've had quite a number that have been scouted to join prison, main prison, Mombasa prison, Posta. Now, those people are not going home empty-handed. That is a source of income. Two, the sports are one way of consolidating the youth and making sure that they don't get involved in these weird behaviors of drug and substance abuse. Sporting is healthy. The benefits of sports are so huge. It's only through sports that some of these young men and women have been spotted outside Makueni. So anybody engaging in sports will have all the advantages. Again, through the sporting docket, you are likely to even get opportunities within the county. Yeah. Now, I need to mention that with the team that left Tharaka Nithi the other day, we have an important conference that is starting tomorrow in Makueni County, the Mango Conference, the first one of its kind in this country. Some of those participants in those teams from Makueni County are going to be directly involved in that conference. Why? They were spotted through sports. So, if you saw the reception that the governor, His Excellency Mutula Kilonzo Jr., accorded the teams from Tharaka Nithi, he will tell you the direction he wants to take with the youth and sports. So they should take sporting seriously.
I want to talk about something, and this is mainly the biggest challenge that everyone talks about. funding, how you collaborate, say, with the member of the National Assembly, the members of the National Assembly, maybe, especially because those are the ones who make, the shots about the budget, and also working together with State Department for Sports.
Well, let me talk about the county of Makueni in particular. The trick lies with public participation, because sports funds at the ward level will ensure that there is sporting money within the ward for that particular a particular ward. When there is money through public participation, that money can only go to sports, not another thing. That's where the trick is. And we made a deliberate effort to convince the people that they should have money in the sports docket during the public participation, and the budget process is not yet over. So from where we sit, we had a sitting with the MCS in Mombasa, in Western Hotel in Nairobi, and another hotel here in Kilimani. And we are in agreement that there should be money in every ward for sports. Now, that one coupled with the results from Tharaka Nithi can tell you the direction that we want to take as a county. Every MCA is now talking about funds for that sporting bit. Now, with the headquarters, we already have money for the next Kenya Youth Intercounty Sports Association games. That one is given. That tells you we will now start preparing without that baggage in mind where we're going to get money from. The county that is not participating in Tharaka Nithi, from my forays, tells me that some of them did not budget for the events. Even us, we don't have money. But because the governor, being a sporting man, he saw the need why we should take Makueni there. And money was available to us, we went there. All these faces are happy. Nobody's complaining now. Yeah.
Now, and you see, whenever you see people happy, touring the country and participating with this, the other one that I would like to talk about is how you're probably working with the Kenya Academy of Sport and other institutions that offer technical support to sports associations. What's that linkage?
There is the Talanta Hela that we had an online meeting with the CS, Babu Namamba. We are going to have another meeting, physical meeting. I can tell you, Makueni County is welcoming any ideas that will empower our youth and that will expose our youth to those opportunities, particularly on sports and another youth-related adventure. For the sake of the sporting docket in Makueni, we would partner with anybody that is ready to support us in achieving our mission. I have just told you that it is in the governor's manifesto that before the end of this 5 years term, we should have serious teams, not just in football, not basketball, not volleyball, even athletics. And it's worth mentioning that Makueni is now on the world map. Somebody from Makueni, the daughter of the soil, by the name Dr. Faith Mwende Christopher, is scaling Mount Everest.
Yes.
She's almost there. You can see that Makueni flag there. She was flagged off by the governor and the sports directorate. That tells you we have the Special Olympics that are just a few weeks from now.
Yes.
In Berlin. Are you aware that the defending champion, 21 kilometers and 10 kilometers, is from Makueni? A guy by the name Onesimus Munao. We are taking sports seriously. Yes. The narrative has changed, particularly after Tharaka Nithi. The sports direction now is the talk of everybody in Makueni.
Well, you can see that anywhere there is an opportunity for people to grow, it does so, and it does so very well. We'll be continuing with this conversation after this short break, and also we shall be hearing from the Director of Sports, Ambrose Kisoi. He's best known as the Secretary General of the Kenya Basketball Federation, and also we shall have Nicholas Mukula, who is the Chairman of the Makueni County Referees Association, and also we shall have Irene Mweni, who was part of the women's football team that defeated Siaya 5-0. So, and remember, Makueni is also where Nick Mwendo is from, the FKF president. So, yes. So he's from there. So we are also going to find out how much is he doing back home? We take this short break. My name is Daniel Wahome. Yeah, our sign language interpreter within this hour has been Anwangeshi.
So baby, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, but I'm leaving you. You never should have made me cry. I'm sorry, but I'm leaving you.
I checked in rehab, and baby, you're my disease. You're my disease, yeah. It's like I checked in rehab. Can somebody help me, please?
Welcome to Take on Tech. This is the show that keeps you updated on everything you need to know about technology.
First of all, the women that are already in tech should be empowered.
I've actually studied electrical and electronics engineering, telecommunications option. So basically I'm in the tech sector.
The government should empower the girl child in a way that they should venture so much into ICT.
There's never a dull moment with us. Tune in every Monday from 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
After the dust settled on rigorous campaigns, Kenyans are waiting for elected leaders to deliver on their pledges.
Have you used the Hustler Fund?
When your children sleep hungry, when you can borrow 500 or 1,000 shillings and they have some food on the table.
So the 500 you're giving me now is my purchasing power has literally been diminished comparing to probably even January or December.
But how have the leaders performed so far?
In terms of the amount of money that is being disbursed, the minimum being 500 shillings, how do you scorecard that?
No, that I'll give it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
I'll still give it 5 out of 5.
Every week, we bring you an honest assessment of the national and county governments.
What is the impact of the Hustlers Fund?
There are people who borrow praying they don't have to pay back. For example, they pray that the owner dies.
The Scorecard. Every Tuesday at 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Every Monday evening, we take you back where the action happened live. We let you know what you missed, even if you were present.
And our goal is to continue supporting our own.
From the latest celebrity buzz,
fashion,
music,
and all manner of youth talents,
the Grapevine cameras rove all week to bring you the latest in the enormous entertainment scene.
Watch Grapevine every Monday at 10 p.m. and the rerun on Tuesday at 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1, baby.
Engage us on Facebook and Twitter, #Grapevine on KBC. Let us know what is happening in your area code, because you know what they say, if you did not see it on Grapevine,
then it most probably never happened. Bah!
Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you gotta do.
ugari sasa mama. Unachisumbua kuita madaktari hapa. Si mimi anabimaga na gilo goba hivi.
Hali yake nakwambia mambo yake inataka kuisha. Anataka kufanya nini? Kutuwacha.
Ukikubali tutafanya hii ya kutoa ile migi ya kudonate hapo sasa tutaweka kwa fegi na hiyo ndio itasaidia watu wengine kama ni wako wagonjwa.
Kwa benki?
Kwa benki.
Central Bank ama National Bank. Wanahitaji wanitoe damu karai mbili. Wapeleke kwa bank iko chini ya bahari.
Mimi nataka tu unipime mimba. Halafu kama tafadhali unaweza kuniongezea nguvu za kiume, unaweza kunisaidia sana.
Kwa ingine hapa, mimi nakwambia hata si 24, hii inakufa in the next 30 minutes.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 15th day of May 2023. We are having a conversation about sport and celebrating County as they won the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association games that were in Chuka, Tharaka Nithi County last month. They emerged top, and that is a conversation that we're having. But also, remember, in our news cycle, we have the parliamentary committee meetings in parliament and also conversations on Kenya versus and Kenya-Somalia relations. This is at IGAD level. And also, expecting today at the Deputy President residence in Karen, a joint press conference between Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the Vice President of the Republic of Colombia, Madam Francia Marquez Mina. So we shall be keeping an eye on those events as they continue. Now, time to get back to a conversation, and we are with the County Executive Committee member for Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services at the Makueni County Government. He's on my immediate left, Nicholas Nzioka. And also joining us now on set is the Director of Sports Makueni County, Ambrose Kisoi. He's better known as the Secretary General of the Kenya Basketball Federation. So, welcome. So, General,
thank you.
And let me just start with you, Ambrose, because you working at a national level federation, then you would fully understand how the law works that governs sport and the optimizing it such that the counties now can fully benefit from it, knowing that it is a devolved function.
Thank you. As you have said, I'm the Director of Sports in Makueni County. I'm doubling up also as the Secretary General for the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association Games. I'm a FIBA Commissioner, having been a FIBA International Referee. And I'm a member of the Youth Commission in the National Olympic Committee. So from all these organizations and services that I've been able to provide to this country and beyond, I have the experience and I have the outlook overview of what it requires to develop sports at the grassroots. But most important thing is for county governments and those people who undertake sports in county governments to understand that the funds that they get to develop sports are devolved funds. And these funds on the aspect of sports, just the way we have funds on the aspect of roads, opening up very remote roads within the county, we should also be looking forward to opening up opportunities for youth who are in very remote areas. So it saddens when we do quick fixes to use youth from either other counties or from higher levels to try and fix sports within that county. We are disadvantaging the youth that are at the remote area. So that concept needs to be understood very well. And when you get it very clearly, you will be able to get the talent from the remotest corner of the county that you have.
Now, because, you also, by virtue of being part of Kenya's Olympic movement, what are some of the things that you're seeing that are available for the youth through the National Olympic Committee, and how to downstream it to the youth?
Being a member of the Youth Commission in the National Olympic Committee, and I want to say this, the National Olympic Committee that is serving for this period has really become very unique because of the transparency and accountability that they have been able to show us as federations. So as members of NOC, we have really benefited a lot from the openness that they have operated. Specifically on the side of Youth Commission, we plan, organize and run an elite youth camp every holiday. And when you look at the criteria of getting these athletes, it is specifically and very clear that it is the elite youth who have a pathway or have the possibility of participating in the Olympics in future. And so when you look at that concept, again you ask yourself, how does it trickle down to the counties at the grassroots? It means that every county has an opportunity to organize camps and centers of the same nature, in the same format, so that when athletes get out and compete, they qualify to come to the national elite camp by the National Olympic Committee. So it is upon us to adopt those systems and structures for NOC. NOC does a lot of capacity building in terms of officials, players, coaches, and all the technical officials you can imagine. And therefore, it also follows that at the county level, we need to take up that structure and open up development for our technical officials, for our players, and administrators of sports at that grassroots level.
And Waziri, now let me just come to you and just, seeing from that technical service, because I know you're going to be meeting with the cabinet secretary for youth affairs, sports and the arts. And there is this whole Talanta Hela initiative. How would you like to tap into it so that there are full benefits for the youth?
From the discussion we had about Talanta Hela, we are actually going to scout these talents at very tender age. That means from the age of around 12, 9, 12, 10, 11, we are able to see this young person can best fit in this. Then those institutions that are going for will be where these talents are going to be domiciled, will be able to tap into this. We would wish to have as many centers as possible in Makueni because of the diverse nature of sports, so that if we want somebody in volleyball, we know where to take them. We spot that talent early, we take them there. That will help them grow. And again, at that level, we are going to have those who are going to the Kenya Academy of Sports. Now, you can imagine a conglomeration of talents from diverse corners of this country.
Yes.
First, the exposure is very necessary. There are people even going to the Rakanithi for the Kenya Youth Intercounty Sports Association games. For some of these players, was an exposure. They had never been there, but because of sports, they have been there. Now, with this, we are able to identify the talent at very tender age. And one of the reasons why some countries have actually bypassed Kenya in terms of sports is because he's talking about quick fix. We only look at these guys in Nairobi. If you want players for Harambee Stars, we just go these clubs within Nairobi. Go to those remote areas. Get that guy playing football without soccer boots. Give them the boots. See how it will translate as a guy. So identify this talent early. And that's the whole component about Talanta Hela. From the concept that I read, it's about identifying these talents early, nurturing that talent, and exposing this talent to the outside world.
Actually, yes, and if you followed the announcement made by the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Arts and Sports, the Honorable Ababu Namwamba last week, is that camp is going to take place in August. So I'm sure the Kenya Academy of Sports, there's one coming up in August. It's going to be very huge, such that facility is fully utilized. And right now, we'd like to talk to an county youth sports games champion, Irene Weni, who was playing football. Irene, let me come to you and just tell us about what you have seen and the potential of women's football in Makueni County. Unaweza ongea kwa Kiswahili kama ndo lugha ambayo uko sawa nayo. Haya, tuendelee Mweni. Okay, when he's a bit shy, but so I'll go straight to the chair of the referees, Nicholas Mukula, who is the chair of the referees in Makueni County. First of all, Nicholas, just tell us about what you have seen through the development of match officials currently at the county level.
Thank you. My name is Nicholas Mukula. As you have said, I'm the chairman football referees Makueni County, and I'm also a teacher by profession. I'm teaching in Born Boys. Somebody has just said that Born Boys will represent this country in handball in August at Kigali, Rwanda. I'm the CHISA coordinator of football. Now back to your question. We are developing referees in Makueni County. I wish to thank the county government because since its inception, they have partnered with us a lot. We have organized courses. They have facilitated. Now we can say in Makueni, we have more than 100 trained referees courtesy the county government Department of Sports.
Now, just tell us about the process, because there is a development process for a referee. You start at number 3 to 1 before you get now to the elite level. Just take us through that.
Yes, we start with of course we have the lowest. Some start officiating before they are trained, and in the course they come and get training. Of course, it start with license certificate number 3, and then they grow. Certificate number 3 is somebody who can do even the regional matches, Division 2 matches, and then they grow into elite referees. They can do Premier League matches and even CAF and FIFA.
Okay. Sasa mweni najua sasa hiyo relax. Tuambie kuhusu michezo ya kule Chuka ambapo mlikuwa kule Tharaka Nithi na mkashinda taji la kina dada. Tuambie kuhusu mashindano haya.
Tukiwa Tharaka Nithi, so we played against finally tulicheza na Siaya, whereby tulikuwa na confidence that tunaweza make it. So we had cooperate and tulikuwa tunaaminiana, so baadaye tukapiga Siaya 5-0.
Okay. Haya, na tuambie hiyo experience yako kucheza huko Tharaka Nithi, umeona ni nafasi gani ambazo zinakuja kwako?
Mi nilianza tu kucheza nikiwa afterwards nilijoin Kaka Talent Center, so nilikuwa experience ball, na pia tulikuwa watu wengi walikuwa experience ball in the team.
Na tukiangalia sasa kama mkazi wa Makueni, na sasa tayari ni mabingwa wa kitaifa upande wa vijana, ni mambo yapi ambayo ungetaka kuona ili soka ya kina dada iendelee kukua huko nyumbani kwenu?
Mimi chenye ningetaka kuomba ni Makueni mostly they build talent centers, so like watu wengi wanapaswa kujoin hizo talent centers ndo wa train, ndo pia tupase kusaski.
Aya, sawa, asante sana Mweni. And maybe if I come to you, Mukula, and because we are now headed into what I would call the football season when it comes to secondary school games. We know it's now term 2, and that is the activity. Just give us an outlook of what you will expect from the schools down in Makueni County as term 2 games begin, and the impact that you'd like to see, of the games and the schools around when it comes to developing sports, specifically football.
A lot of expectations, of course. Makueni has been a powerhouse. I can remember since 2019, Born Boys went up to nationals. Then Corona comes in. Last year, 2022, Bond Boys again to nationals. I expect we perform better this year at the nationals. One thing we are sure of is that whichever team wins at the county level in Makueni, definitely we go to regionals and you find there is no major competition. There is no major resistance, and we'll surely sail through into the nationals. What we have not been able to do is we have not gone through the nationals to East Africa, but I believe this year a team from Makueni County will feature in East Africa for football, because we have good teams. I continue saying that the county government has assisted the schools a lot. You'll talk of capacity building of coaches, of referees. You'll find 90% of these people who are benefiting from such programs are teachers, and of course this now is relayed down to the student. So I want to thank the government for that, and that's the reason why our schools in Makueni County have improved in terms of talent.
All right. Thank you very much, Nicholas Mukula. He is the chair of the Makueni County Football Referees Association, and also we've got Irene Weni, who is the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Champion in women's football. Let me now come back here. And Kisoi, there is one thing that I would like to find out when it comes to adopting to the changing policies in the world. How are you now working around to ensure that federations really come down and deliver the message to every sport that is there?
There are very many changing trends within the sporting world, including even now at the National Olympic Committee, we are talking about the e-sports coming in.
Oh yes.
And so it is the advocacy is immediately a trend starts coming in, we need to start adopting. Like now, when you check most of the games now, we have the shorter versions of games coming in. Basketball, we have the 3x3. Netball, we have the 5-a-side team, and also referring to what rugby developed earlier in the 7s, coming from the 15s. And so when you look at what is really coming up is very many changes, and so we need to get prepared. There is also now a lot of uptake on beach games, and so counties at the grassroots and the country in large, we need to take that very fast. So it is upon the national offices to liaise with the county branch of association officials to ensure that these changes are effected as quickly as possible. I'll tell you, Makueni, we've done beach handball, and we've done beach volleyball at River Kaiti. We call it the White Sands of Kaiti. Yes. And so we are ready. We need to take up these changes as quickly as possible, just to fit into the framework of what has come up.
Okay. Interesting. When I was here, I'm sure having a conversation, and you told me that you were at a conference about sand.
Yes.
And just tell us about what is there to be exploited in terms of beach games, because the beach volleyball circuit always stops there. And now you've had beach handball. We had the beach games a couple of months back. Quite huge it was. Just tell us the opportunities that come with sand.
You see, Makueni is, I can again say, it's the home of sand. Much of Nairobi has been built with sand for Makueni. Now, there has been that protection of that. It's the gold of our county. And I can tell you, there are so many advantages of sand. Now, with these sand games, you see, for us it will be very easy. We wanted to prepare a pitch that involves the use of sand. We'll just get it from the nearby rivers. So there are so many accolades that come with the protection of that resource. It's something we are taking seriously. And what we were discussing about sand was just the regulations. But sand itself, in now sports, for us it will not be a challenge, because we wanted that beach volleyball. We just need to go to the nearest rivers, and it is there.
All right, thank you.
The resource that in Makueni, we are not, it's in plenty. In fact, if we had the opportunity, we can supply the whole of Kenya.
I'm sure.
But we do protect it at all levels, only for domestic use within our county.
All right. Thank you very much. County Executive Committee Member for Sports and Social Services, Makueni County, Nicholas Nzioka, Director of Sports, Ambrose Kisoi, and also we had Charles Mudo as a Senior Youth Development Officer. We also have the Chief Officer, Sports and Social Services, Catherine Siombwa. They have been with us this morning together with the sports team from Makueni County in football, basketball, and also in volleyball. Asanteni sana. Hope to see you soon. And sand in plenty. We'd like to have some. Maybe when you can convince Nock that the next we can come to Makueni because sand is not in short supply.
It's very true, very
It
true.
is in plenty, and so people can enjoy there. Oh, yeah, before I forget, dance sport is another one.
Dance sport.
Yes, it's now an Olympic sport.
Yes.
Dance sport.
Definitely, we are headed there. We had a discussion at NOC, and it is one of the things that we are looking at. There are games that are coming very soon, youth games, and we are waiting for confirmation whether that will be part of it.
Break dancing.
Yes, and so
rest assured, we will take it as Makueni.
Yes, so it is, and maybe as we wind up, I wish to, from the KISA Executive Committee, we will thank Tharaka Nithi for hosting us in this edition. We really enjoyed being there, and we wish to thank His Excellency Governor Mudhomi Njuki for taking up that. And we still remember his statement that the best footballer, maybe, is still loitering within the villages somewhere. And so that is very good. We wish to thank the Kenya Academy of Sports for sending scouts to come and work with us. We are waiting for the list to be officially released for circulation and for congregation of the athletes at Kenya Academy of Sports. We wish to thank Honorable Ababu Namwamba, the CS, for making the Talanda Hela crew available in Tharaka Nithi to work with us and identify talent. So we are really thankful for all those entities. Sports Kenya that really supported the games, we are really thankful. And also now specifically thank our governor, His Excellency Mutula Kilonzo Jr. You know, when the man speaks, you have a sleepless night that day because of his dream in sports. It's huge.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to make an appeal to the parents of this republic. Release our young boys and girls to participate in sports. You never know. Not everybody can fit in academics, but the diverse nature of human beings, it is sports that can also change this world. Nothing unites the people of this country more than sports. You saw when Omanyala was on the track.
I was in that stadium. It was chaotic.
The political rivals shook hands. Let us use sports to unite this country.
Yes. On basketball, we are doing our under-16 trials because we want to present the team for competitions, and so let the parents release their children.
There you go. You've had it from Team Makueni. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Right, now, let us now switch our conversation from Makueni County and their sports story, and we're going to be moving on to athletics. Over the weekend, we had the Kip Keino Classic, and it was quite an event, no less than about 3 world leads, but most importantly, 10 meeting records were broken. And one of the athletes who broke a meeting record is Wiseman Were. He won the men's 400-meter hurdles in 49.59 seconds. This was another win following the Athletics South Africa Grand Prix Series 1. So Wiseman, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. First of all, getting that 49.59 at the Kip Classic in the 400 meters hurdles, it was a national event. You could just tell us about that race and what you did see from it.
Yeah, first and foremost, I could say the race was good, the preparation was well, and according to my perspective going to that race, I never ran in line 3 because I was trying to get a good execution of the race, of which I got it right, and I got a good flow as well. So coming to the backstretch, I I got like I was myself, so I had to go for it because I managed to get that 49.59.
Well, let's now talk about the season so far. First, you were down in South Africa for Athletics South Africa Grand Prix Series. Just take us through race day, meeting one down in SA.
Yeah, the first meeting happened in Tuks Stadium in South Africa because me doing that meeting, it was very deep in me because I had to meet different athletes who have different speeds, different techniques. So we were as well trying to get the qualifying time. So on my side, going to compete with the fast athletes who have the fast times. So I knew I was going to lower my PB because, you know, as an athlete, when you go to a race, anything can happen. But with the fast Grand Prix, it was a good start for me because it showed like my season was going to be well.
Meeting two, everything going well, but suddenly just something happened and eventually finishing third.
Yeah, the second meeting happened in Jamestown, of which I didn't have a very good execution because I stumbled on like 3 hurdles. I knocked down some 3 hurdles, of which it slowed my speed, so I couldn't catch up to get back in the race. And you know, the opponents were already going, so I was trying to get back in the race. By that time, the game was going to end, so I got that position 3.
And now let's just take a look at this. You know, coming off the Commonwealth Games bronze, and you also, the African bronze. Now let's just focus on the 400-meter hurdles because there is something that you will want to build up. 2015, 2016, we had Aaron Koech, we had the late Nicholas Bett, we had Boniface Mushero. They were at the top of their game. How now would you like to push this as it goes on?
I would like to push this on some parts of these 400 meters because I've been making conversations with Boniface as well, with Aaron as well, and they have told me there are some parts I should work on, but the speed, the clearance is fine with me, but there is this hurdle 7, sometimes hurdle 8 is the one which gets me to stumble a little bit. But if that one is corrected, probably I'll post fast times and they will be happy for that because they have been doing it and they are showing me the way. So with the advice and the experience they had showing to me again, I think when much put in, I'll able to attain those fast times and everything will be okay.
Okay, yeah, let's just talk about that execution around the bend, because hurdles is it's an event where you do maths as you run, and how you would count that. What are the number of steps you take, and when you take your flight over the hurdle, how are you working to balance that? Because when you talk about 7 and 8, these are the ones at the bend.
Yeah, okay. From the blocks, I've worked on it and it's flowing better because, as an athlete or doing a technical event, you need to be prepared. The calculation has to be there, needs to be good calculation because I clear the hurdles with both legs because the hurdle I get, I clear with either left or right. So coming to the bend, I think when you slow a little bit down, it will make you like to lose that step because in between the hurdles, it depends with the height of the athlete and the strides made by the athlete. Like for me, I do make 14 strides, 15 strides. So if I maintain those strides from the start in between the hurdles, I think it will flow up well because it leads to 49.0, sometimes 48. But when I little bit change the strides, maybe from 14 to 16, that's where now the problem starts coming in because I've break the speed. Now I'm starting to look for the hurdle, so the calculation is going out. But if that is put in position, because coming around the bend, I need to increase my speed, I need to attack the hurdle. So when I'm trying to gauge, I see like that hurdle is far, because when I'm approaching it, I need to come with power explosive so that when I attack it, it will become smooth. But if I little bit stagger, so that's where the problem starts getting in. But with time, I'm getting to get about those bent hurdles at the curve because they are the one which have been wasting the time for me. So I'm really working on them.
Now, also, let's talk about time, because if we just to make reference to the Olympics, it's I have to admit, what we saw was unbelievable when Karsten Wahome breaks the world record at 46.9. And at the moment, you know, for you to compete at the highest level, you'd be talking about, you know, getting to, you know, say 40, high 47s or 48. How are you working so that eventually you're able to take that 1 second off your personal best?
Yes, okay. About it, I'm very much happy about the time which was set at the Olympics, because me watching that race and the guys who did that race, I can say it was a good race for them, because none of them knew that they would do those times, because majority of the guys who are doing those races, I remember very well Wahome that time had a 46, and the other guys, they had a 40, 48, 48. There was a 147. So when they got to the blocks and they went off, everyone went hard. The speed was there. So at the end of the race, everyone got a season-based area record, continental record, because it was the first race. Even the one who came the 8th position had a personal record, had an area record, because you see they ran like the good race of their life, because all the times were too fast. No one got underrated, because everything flowed up, and it was a big celebration for both of them.
Okay, now
so on my side, I think to get there, it's possible, because my season for me has started very well, and I think with that area which I need to polish on, I'll get it right and I'll push. So I don't have any.
Now the other,
I know it's possible.
Yes,
get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Wiseman, let's now talk about your season. What are the events that you're probably looking at, such that you balance between what you've got to do as an athlete, which is earn a living from athletics, and at the same time prepare for the world championships that will be coming up?
Okay, on my side, I can say the season has started well for me, because I thank God, because this is the 4th time I'm running under 50. And for the previous seasons, I've been starting with 51, 50, 50. But this time around, I've done consistency under 50. So it's a good build-up for me, because heading to the World Championships and as well looking into Olympics, I think the time is going well, the preparation is in position, and with those areas which I've said I need to rectify.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and all right. So, Wiseman, maybe you could just repeat that. We had just a slight tumble. Maybe you could just repeat about how you're building up for the World Championships.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, Wiseman. Yeah, we looked like we just had a slight freeze of that. Maybe you could just repeat on your build up towards the World Championships in the hurdles before now we talk about relays.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Yes, Wiseman, I can hear you.
Yeah. I was saying during the past seasons, I've been starting with my season with 50s, and according to this season, I've managed to run consistency time, because under last month I've done like 4:49, so it is a good start for me, because with the races I'm doing, I think it's leading me somewhere. So
okay, Wiseman, let me just interrupt you kindly, because we've got to move to the Deputy President's residence. So anyway, thank you for giving us your time, Wiseman. So now let's move over to Karen, where the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, is having a joint press conference with the Vice President of the Republic of Colombia, Madam Francia Marquez Mina.
From a tender age, you have created and sustained a legacy of fighting for the freedom and the dignity of the people. You are indeed a real hustler. Your visit comes a few months after elections in Colombia and Kenya. Both elections were entrenched in the deep desire for change, focused on uplifting and dignifying the people at the bottom of the pyramid. Our people embraced the conversation that it was time to dignify the hustler in Kenya and the nobodies in Colombia. They identified with our humble background and trusted us with leadership. Our President, Dr. William Ruto, who sold chicken to make ends meet, wore shoes for the first time in high school. I grew up in abject poverty. My body was heavily invested with jiggers and lice. But here we are today. We have a huge mandate to transform the lives of our people until dignity becomes the norm for the hustlers and the nobodies of our countries. Your visit has accorded us an excellent opportunity to exchange views on several bilateral and multilateral issues and areas of mutual interest. Kenya and Colombia have continued to enjoy warm and cordial relations, holding long-standing historical bonds of friendship, which exist through various bilateral, regional, and multilateral forums. I wish to take note of the endeavors of the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of Colombia towards transforming the lives of their citizens at the bottom of society and the achievement of sustainable development goals. This development model will accelerate the intention of our countries to incorporate the poor into the mainstream economy and will enhance our ability to tackle complex domestic and global challenges. Your Excellency, Madam Vice President, during your campaign, your slogan was, "It is time for the nobodies," which resonates with our hustler conversation. Our government is committed and will remain a true representative of the hustlers. We shall also endeavor to enhance our impact in development and implementing effective strategies aimed at enhancing inclusive economic progress that target the hustlers and the nobodies. I wish to recall that from our first participation in Colombia briefing at the UN Security Council during the 2021-2022 period, Kenya lobbied for inclusivity as a fundamental pillar on which to build the peace in Colombia. We particularly called for the implementation of the ethnic chapter in the peace agreement to ensure that the rights of Afro-Colombians and indigenous communities are safeguarded. As the UN's Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination puts it, Afro-Colombians face persistent structural and historical discrimination. This has resulted in entrenched poverty and political and economic exclusion. In this manner, we observed that Afro-Colombian circumstances largely reflected the experience of our brothers and sisters in America. Your Excellency, on bilateral relations, Kenya wishes to enhance cooperation with Colombia in a number of fields, such as training in Spanish, education scholarships, healthcare, culture, knowledge sharing, South-South cooperation, and engagements in the multilateral arena. Our government is committed to further increase a two-way trade and investment cooperation between Kenya and Colombia by focusing on economic and commercial programs and promotion of business interactions between our two countries, ranging from MSME sector and private sector and business management organizations. Our political consultations have explored the need to establish direct flights between the two countries, which will be an enabler for trade and investment for people-to-people contact. I wish to take note of the ongoing technical meetings, which have concluded review for two memorandum of understanding, which we have signed today. These are the MOU on the Joint Commission of Cooperation and the MOU on Gender Equality and Women Empowerment. Discussions are ongoing to conclude the MOU on sports cooperation and 6 declarations, namely the Declaration of Intent in Promotion of Spanish Language, Declaration of Intent on Sustainable Trade and Investment, Declaration of Intent on Higher Education, Declaration of Intent on Energy and Mining, declaration of intent on promotion of tourism, and declaration on intent on promotion of culture. Your government's assistance through provision of technical support in health, the use of bamboo as an affordable housing material, cooperation in technical, vocational, and education training, culture, and most importantly, technical cooperation in the coffee sector will go a long way in enabling Kenya attain her development institutions. We look forward to partnering with Colombia in creating linkages between Africa, diaspora in the Caribbean, Latin America, and North America regions. In conclusion, Your Excellency, we are glad that the government of Colombia has invited our Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court, Lady Justice Martha Koome, and the Governor of Wahome County, the Honorable Gladys Wanga, to represent us at the International Day of Afro-Descendant Women in Bogota on July 25th, 2023. Your Excellency, I also accept your invitation to visit the Republic of Colombia with a huge delegation from the coffee subsector to learn from the people of Colombia on the success of the coffee subsector. Your Excellency, I have explained to you, the coffee subsector was very thriving in the 70s and 80s, but has gone down due to intervention by middlemen who have come in between the coffee producer and the consumer. His Excellency the President, in his Executive Order number 1 of 2023, bestowed upon me the responsibility to champion coffee reforms. I will therefore be more than happy to visit your beautiful country to discuss matters coffee and to learn the beautiful experiences of the Colombian coffee farmer and be able to come and practice it here in Kenya. Finally, I affirm Kenya's commitment to working closely with the government of the Republic of Colombia in deepening our relations for mutual benefit of our people. Asanteni sana. Please, Your Excellency and your delegation enjoy the Kenyan hospitality. God bless Kenya. God bless Colombia. Your Excellency.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Su Excelencia, señor Vicepresidente Rigathi Gachagua. Gracias a la nación keniana por recibirnos en esta delegación de visita oficial del gobierno de Colombia. Para mí y para mi país es un honor estar aquí visitando, reencontrándonos como diásporas afrodescendientes, reconectándonos con la tierra de nuestros ancestros y ancestras. Este momento, un momento histórico para Colombia, del primer gobierno progresista desde que se fundó el Estado Social de Derecho y, por supuesto, un gobierno progresista liderado por dos líderes, nuestro presidente Gustavo Petro, que ha luchado toda la vida por la justicia social y que extiende los brazos para cooperar con los pueblos que tenemos.
And speaking right now, and that is in Spanish, is the Vice President of the Republic of Colombia, Madam Francia Marquez Mina, who is addressing a joint press conference together with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And this is at the Deputy President's residence in Karen. And it is about relations in trade and other areas of cooperation with the between Kenya and Colombia, and one that has been mentioned is the coffee sector. And as we wind up, remember also that there is also happening that the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki and his Somali counterpart will also be giving an address, and this is at Harambee House. As we come to a close of this edition of Sports Check, let's run a feature of three-time Boston Marathon winner Cosmas Ndeti.
Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I release your mighty power and anointing over this team of Kenya that is going to participate in the World Championship. Lord, I prophesy that you are going to protect them from every injuries. My Father, I pray that they are going to conquer the world. As we used to conquer the world, let the team bring more mentors than ever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
He prays fervently for the success of Kenya's sportsmen and women in their current and future undertakings, knowing too well what it takes to triumph in the face of adversity. Meet Cosmas Ndeti, who's deeply religious and who ruled the Boston Marathon from 1993 to 1995 to ride and dine with the high and mighty.
Since Boston first marathon, and it's very famous, winning the Boston Marathon is like you are on the top of the world.
He never knew as a little boy that he'd become famous until he started running.
Oh, I started my running when I was in primary school, when I was in class 6. I used to go to school about 3 kilometers away from my home. That's where I used to go to in primary school. And we used to compete from sub-zone to zone to divisionals. When I was in primary, I went up to district level. Then 1986, I went to secondary school, whereby the first time, because it was a day school, and that school it was starting, so it was only Form 1s. The first time we went for the cross country and we had no teacher. It's only students which we took ourselves to the competition. I managed to be number 2. We went to divisionals. There was no teacher. There was no coach. I was still number 2. But at the district level, I was defeated, so I could not continue. 1987, when I was in Form 2, now we had a coach. And then I went up to district level.
And like most Kenyan athletes, his first breakthrough came in the world of cross-country.
88, we managed to go to the national level and the international competition, whereby we qualified for World Cross Country, whereby we went to New Zealand. I won a silver medal in junior category. After that, in 1989, I didn't qualify. After school, 1990, I qualified for athletics, junior athletics championship, whereby we went to Bulgaria. I ran the road race, 20 kilometers. I went to the road race, I broke the course record and also the world record for the junior. I set a new record.
He could not resist the road where he found his fame.
My first marathon was 1992 in Hawaii, America, whereby I finished second. Then 1993 is when I was, the race director of Boston spotted me when I was in Honolulu. Then I was invited for Boston Marathon.
Most notable was the Boston Marathon, where he conquered not once but thrice in a row, with the best marathon performance in 1994, where he set a course record of 2 hours, 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
When I went for the Boston Marathon, that was my first international race, whereby I won the race. I was the second Kenyan to win this race. The first one was Ibrahim Hussein, who had won the race 2 times. And I went there, I won the race, the second Kenyan, whereby 1993, 94, I set the course record, which had been there for 8 years. It had been with somebody from Australia, was called Rob de Castella, which was 207.56. I broke the course record to 207.14 seconds. So I lowered the course and the record.
In 1995, he sealed his third win to become the first African to win the Boston Marathon 3 consecutive times, to go a notch higher and ride with the former U.S. President Bill Clinton.
Believe you me, the 3 times I won the Boston Marathon, I got the chance to visit the White House. So we used to go to the White House from Boston to Washington, 2 hours flight. So we used to go to there. We used to go and enter in the White House very early in the morning at around 5 a.m. At 6 is when we were meeting the president in the White House. Then we enter in the car. We go for about 2 miles from the White House, where there's a running course, whereby we used to go and run there with him. The third time, which was special, 93, we were riding on our own car. The president was riding on his own car. But the third time, it was special. From White House to the truck, I rode it in the same car with the president, and with a joke, you know. I had to lay my hand upon his shoulder. He asked me, Cosmas, what is your secret of learning? I told him, my secret is because I am born again, and I put my trust upon my God. So it was a great privilege.
Robert Cheruiyot Mwafrika not only equaled his feat when he won the Boston Marathon from 2006 to 2008, but also raised his course record in his first triumph, which he won in 2 hours, 07 minutes and 14 seconds. Cosmas Andeti had retired by then after tackling other marathons across the world.
I have ran other many races. I ran Fukuoka 1997. I was 6th position. 1996, I ran New York Marathon. I was number 6. And I also ran in Hawaii. I was 2nd, 1995, during the summer. So in 2003, it's when I just hung my shoes.
He also made the team to the 1997 World Athletics Championship, but failed to finish the race.
It was very hot. You know, we are not used in hot conditions. When we went there, it was very hot. And the other thing, the management and the regiment was not good because there was no water. There was no water on the way. So we ran for about 10 kilometers without water. Then after that, the water was so much scattered, so the race was disorganized. That's why mostly we Africans, even I don't think whether it's an African who finished that race.
Cosmas had nevertheless already inspired so many others to follow in his footsteps, like Onesmus Mutesia.
He's my product. When they saw me running, he was one of them whom I helped with my brother and others, like the former world record holder, Mwangangi. Is one of my products. So all the athletes in Ukambani, they are my products.
I'm Onesmus Mutisia. I used to run a marathon. I won Seville Marathon in 2003. I was also 2nd in Belgrade Marathon in 1998. We really thank Cosmas Andeti, who he was coaching us for a long time. We have heard of him. Now, it took so many years doing running because he was running very free, not using any drugs. So I can advise the guys who are running nowadays to just go slow and not use drugs, and their health will keep them fit.
The two have remained close up to date as Cosmas embarks on his spiritual mission to win more souls for Jesus Christ.
I remember 1993, 1996, I was in the hotel when the press people in the US, they asked me, Cosmas, when you retire, what do you want to do? I told them I want to become a pastor. And that's what I am today. I have a church in Ketengela called Christ, the Reference and Destiny Chapel, connecting you to a destiny. So I am connecting people to their destiny.
He continuously prays for the athletes to overcome all temptations in their pursuit of glory, especially in the wake of doping allegations tarnishing their image, having put behind his own tribulations.
You know, everybody, I can say that everybody wants to get money. But one thing the athletes, they should know that our reputation is very important. And also, the performance is very important. Because I remember when we were running, nobody used this kind of drugs. And because of the technology of today, that's why we have a lot of drugs around, and people, they want to run good and they want to get money. And that's why you see them, they don't last long. They only run for about 3 to 4 races, then they're off. Like me, I ran for over 10 years running marathon. So for me what I can tell the athletes that they must be patient. Let them use their own strength. Forget about the drugs. Forget about the money, because don't think about getting quick money. Think about the span for how long you are going to run. The lifespan is very important.
The only runner to break at 2 hours at 10 minutes at 4 straight times during his Boston triumph has also been watching the current world marathon record holder Eliud Kipchoge with interest.
And I remember praying for Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge right now is running. I prayed for him and gave him a word of knowledge, and I told him, you have been running, you have been coming second, you have never won a race, but this time around God is going to bless you and you are going to become a champion. When I see him breaking the records, I said, that is my son.
It takes a lot to achieve that, as Cosmas Andeti, the first Kenyan and African to win the Boston Marathon 3 times, found out in his heydays. But you know what? Be strong and courageous in all undertakings. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
It's only by discipline which can make a good athlete. Many of the athletes, they don't have discipline. When they get a little money, I can say little money. When they get money, they run to buy cars. They just running up and down, just with themselves. Like the men, they go on getting what kind of stuff, they become drunkards and all that kind of stuff. You must have a discipline. And the only way to have a discipline is when you become born again. When I became born again in 1993 on 17th February 1993, when I became born again. From that time, my life took a dramatic change. For the Bible says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. When you have a fear of God, there are things that you will not do.
After the dust settled on rigorous campaigns, Kenyans are waiting for elected leaders to deliver on their pledges.
Have you used the Hustler Fund?
When your children sleep hungry, when you can borrow 500 or 1,000 shillings and they have some food on the table.
So the 500 you're giving me now is my purchasing power has literally been diminished comparing to probably even January or December.
But how have the leaders performed so far?
In terms of the amount of money that is being disbursed, the minimum being 500 shillings, how do you scorecard that?
No, that I'll give it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
I'll still give it 5 out of 5.
Every week, we bring you an honest assessment of the national and county governments.
What is the impact of the Hustlers Fund?
There are people who borrow praying they don't have to pay back. For example, they pray that the owner dies.
The Scorecard. Every Tuesday